Life is a big school. We all have to learn.
Chronos, the ruler of the world, feared that one day his children would overthrow him as he had overthrown his own father, Uranos. To prevent this, he decided to swallow each of his children as they were born. His wife, Rhea, gave birth to 5 children, but Chronos swallowed them all: Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon. Rhea was worried and angry, and when she was about to give birth to her 6th child, she fled to the island of Crete with the help of the earth goddess Gaia. In a cave on Mount Ida, she gave birth to her youngest son, Zeus. To protect him from his father's fate, Rhea took a large stone and wrapped it in diapers to look like a baby. She gave this baby to Chronos, who swallowed it whole, believing it to be Zeus. In his childhood, Zeus lived on the island of Crete, where he was well taken care of by 2 fairies named Ida and Adraste. They were known as nymph, who were believed to reside in old forests, fields, riverbanks, streams, high mountains, deep caves, and desolate valleys. They fed him goat's milk and honey from the bees, and a goat named Amalthea provided Zeus with an endless supply of milk, so he never went hungry. Amalthea was also Zeus's best friend, so that he would not be sad and cry. But if ever Zeus cried, the Curettes, who were the protectors of the cave, would take immediate action by knocking on drums, gongs, clattering weapons, and shouting to drown out the sound of his crying. They also made sure that the door of the cave was tightly sealed with wooden screws, so that not a single cry could escape. This was done to ensure that Chronos would not hear Zeus's cries and swallow him like he had done with his other children. As Zeus grew older, he continued to play with his dear friend Amalthea the goat. They would often playfully butt heads, with Amalthea pretending to push Zeus to the ground, and Zeus grabbing onto her horns and wrestling with all his strength. But as time went on, Zeus grew bigger and stronger, and one day, while playing with Amalthea, he accidentally broke one of her horns. Zeus felt terrible about what had happened and knew that Amalthea was his best friend. He comforted her with a promise that if he ever became a god with the power to grant wishes, he would give her a new horn and make sure she always had plenty of fragrant flowers, sweet fruits, and ripe fruits to eat. The broken horn of Amalthea, being the horn of a godly goat, possessed extraordinary powers. Whoever possessed it would be able to make any wish they desired. Recognizing this, Zeus gave the horn to the 2 fairies who had raised him, Ida and Adraste. The horn of Amalthea, also known as the horn of abundance, has become a symbol of abundance and prosperity in literature and mythology around the world. In Europe, it is common to depict the horn in art and to give a horn filled with fruit as a gift to guests as a symbol of wishes for happiness, wealth, and prosperity. As Zeus grew older, he became a healthy and strong young man. His grandmother, the earth goddess Gaia, and his mother Rhea, approached him with the mission of freeing his swallowed siblings.
I have come to give you a mission, Zeus. Your mother, Rhea, is worried about your siblings. Cronos, your father, has swallowed them all, and they're trapped in his stomach.
I will not stand for this. I will free my siblings and overthrow my father.
That is the spirit, Zeus. But you must be careful and seek the guidance of the goddess Metis, the goddess of prudence.
Zeus sought the guidance of the goddess Metis, the goddess of prudence, who was the daughter of Okeanos. Metis told Zeus of a mysterious tree whose leaves, if juiced and given to Chronos to drink, would cause him to vomit up everything in his stomach. Zeus followed her advice, and it was effective. Chronos immediately vomited up his 5 children and the stone that was disguised as Zeus. However, Zeus's forces were still not strong enough to overthrow Chronos. He knew that he needed the help of his 6 siblings, but they were not powerful enough to defeat the Titans and their descendants who were gods with great power. So Zeus set out to free the Hecatonchires and the Cyclopes who were locked in the ground. These giant gods were once exiled to the hell of Tartar by Uranos when Chronos overthrew him. Cronos had locked them up again, fearing that they would one day jeopardize his position. Zeus freed them, and with their help, he was able to overthrow Cronos and the Titans. After freeing the Cyclopes and the Hecatonchires, Zeus's faction became much stronger. The Cyclopes, skilled smiths, created powerful weapons for Zeus and his siblings. Arges, whose name means lightning, crafted lightning bolts for Zeus. Brontes gave him thunderbolts, and Steropes gave him a thunderbolt. In reality, all three brothers worked together to create these powerful weapons. The Cyclopes also forged a helmet of invisibility for Hades, which would make the wearer invisible to anyone, even if they had 100 eyes. Poseidon received a long and pointed trident from the Cyclopes, which he could use to control the wind, summon rain, and create or calm storms at will. With these weapons, Zeus and his siblings were able to defeat the Titans and secure their position as the new gods of the world.
We must use all our strength to defeat the Titans and secure our position as the new gods of the world.
The fighting between the Titans and Zeus's faction was devastating. The earth shook, mountains crumbled, the sky trembled, and the sea boiled, making it seem as if the universe was returning to a state of primordial chaos. The Titans threw mountains at Zeus and his faction, but they hit back just as fiercely. Zeus used his thunderbolts to move the sky, send forth lightnings that blinded the earth, and send scorching lightning bolts that burned and destroyed everything around. Poseidon used his trident to raise the waves of the ocean and create ferocious storms. The sea was boiling, screaming, and writhing, shaking the ground and the sky. The Hecatonchires, with their 100 arms and 50 heads, fought fiercely but were unable to stop the Titans. Finally, the Titans were defeated and Zeus chained them up and sent them to the underworld, ruled by the god Tartar. The Titans were imprisoned in a very strict area, surrounded by thick copper walls and guarded by the demons and gods Hecatonchires at the door. However, the punishment of one of the Titans, Atlas, was different. Zeus punished Atlas by forcing him to hold up the sky on his shoulders, a punishment that he had to endure for all eternity. Atlas later committed the crime of mistreating the hero Perseus, son of Zeus, by violating the tradition of honoring guests. As a result, Perseus turned him into a towering rock mountain. The Atlas mountain still supports the sky to this day, and without it, the sky might have collapsed and fallen to the ground a long time ago. After 10 years of fierce fighting, Zeus emerged victorious and gained control of the world of the old gods. He and his fellow young gods set about ordering the world according to their own will.
We have done it! The Titans are defeated, and we are the new gods of the world.
They chose Mount Olympus as their residence and built an extremely grand, magnificent palace on it. The air on Olympus was always clear, the days were always filled with light, and there was no snow, frost, or gloomy clouds bringing rain and north winds. It was a noble and wondrous abode for the gods. And so, with the guidance of Metis and the support of his allies, Zeus was able to defeat Cronos and free his siblings. Together, they claimed the throne of the world and brought order to the universe. From then on, they ruled from the majestic Mount Olympus, where they were known as the Olympian gods. And Zeus, the youngest and strongest of them all, was hailed as the king of the gods. He had fulfilled his destiny and secured his place in the pantheon of mythology, forever remembered as the one who overthrew Cronos and saved his Olympian siblings.